I need 7 minutes of your time today. I want to talk about some information you need to know about the SBA's program with the COVID-19 EIDL program and Natural Disaster Loan Program. First of all, when you call the SBA, whatever the procedure is that you're asking about, and you speak to a customer service rep or a loan specialist, they often make it sound really easy to do. Except once you dig in, you find out it's not. And that's why we created our SBA EIDL Resource Hub for you. Click on the link in the description to access that. Yeah, they make it sound simple. A few weeks ago, we got a call from somebody in Texas. This guy said to me he called the SBA, and the SBA told him that he could easily take over the COVID-19 EIDL for a business that he purchased. Except there's one problem. The guy is here on an H-1B work visa. He's not eligible for the program at all. Yeah, that's what I mean. How SBA tells you something makes it sound so simple, but it's not. I spoke to an SBA rep the other day. This woman was very experienced. She definitely knew her stuff. And I specifically asked her, for all of those borrowers that were sent off to U.S. Treasury last year, who were brought back to the SBA for regular servicing through the Hardship Accommodation program, I asked her, does the SBA internally still consider those loans to be in default for non-payment? And, because that was why they were shipped off to collections in the first place. And she said to me, she seemed very confused on the phone. She said, no, because Hardship Accommodation is not in default. It means, it's current dispersed status and you're catching up with the payments. I'm going to tell you my opinion as an EIDL expert. I don't believe her. I don't believe the SBA. And if you're in Hardship Accommodation because your loan was sent to Treasury and now it's back at SBA, you should be very concerned, and you should click on our resource hub to access information you'll need to overcome it when that objection comes up again by the SBA, because I predict it's coming down the line. Monetary considerations. You want to perform some simple operation with your COVID-19 EIDL loan with the SBA. You want to perform some simple operation with your business. You just brought in a new investor, or you're buying out your partner. You're doing a change of ownership, change of management, change of address, any number of things with the SBA that could be an otherwise simple operation for your business. You are required to interact with the SBA as per the terms of the loan agreement. But here's the thing. On a lot of the forms, the SBA says monetary consideration may be required for approval of this procedure. You need to be aware that the SBA considers these loans to be short-term working capital with a 30-year repayment period to make the payment affordable. But essentially, the Small Business Administration basically believes that if you got a COVID-19 economic injury disaster loan, you're supposed to pay it back sooner rather than later. So if you're doing a basic business operation, you're submitting your paperwork, get ready for that call or that email you're going to get from the SBA loan specialist telling you that you've got to pay back the loan in full or a substantial portion of the loan. And last bit of information today that you need to know about the SBA right now in October of 2024, we're seeing it. SBA is doing compliance reviews on the COVID-19 economic injury disaster loans that you all got during the pandemic. And I predicted this was coming to our clients years ago. It's why we created the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Resource Hub, which you can get by clicking on the link in the description. And you should get it, because it's going to show you how to be prepared for an SBA audit. We're seeing the SBA is sending out emails to borrowers, either just randomly appearing out of nowhere, or in the case of one client we're working with, he had applied for a natural disaster loan and applied for hardship accommodation, and he was declined for both of them. And when I spoke to the SBA rep the other day, she kind of got it that I was like a colleague, and she kind of told me something that they probably wouldn't normally tell a small business owner on the phone. She said, well, the reason why he was denied for the natural disaster loan, the reason he was denied for hardship, is because his file is in post-closing compliance review. Yeah, they have a special department, a special team assigned to auditing your COVID-19 economic injury disaster loan application. And it's all kinds of crazy stuff they're asking for. I mean, just look at this. This is a sample of the email that they're sending out to borrowers. You've got to get tax transcripts from the IRS. So you've got to go to the IRS website, you have to go to the ID website to create an identity verification process, then go to irs.gov, get your transcripts. Then you've got to put this all together with other documents, usually tax returns, and send it out to them and wait for them to clear you on post-closing compliance review. And I'll tell you what, if there's discrepancies between what you put on your application and your 2019 tax return or transcripts that they're asking for, there's going to be problems. There's going to be big problems. I suspect they might actually be looking for criminals with this post-closing compliance review as well. But whether they are doing that aspect or they're just doing basic audits, it's annoying to have to deal with this, But again, I predicted this back during the pandemic, that this was a real thing that could happen, and you should prepare for it, because information that was fresh in your mind, documents fresh in your mind back in the day, you may not recollect or have access to. A post-closing compliance review is serious, and you should approach the response that you give to the SBA with the appropriate gravitas, because SBA is taking this very seriously. If you want help on how to be successful with the post-closing compliance review, click on the link in the description where you can purchase our EIDL Resource Hub, which has a whole section just about being audited by the SBA and documents and preparing for those types of reviews. If you buy it now at what we think is reasonable flat fee, you will get free updates to that Resource Hub through December 31st, 2024. And I'll tell you what, we're about to publish a massive amount of updates, and when we do, the price is going to increase substantially.